Hi guys, this is Sidney. In this video, I'm gonna share some really important messages that have been coming to me in regards to what's going on right now, both in terms of rising of the frequency in the collective consciousness. At the same time, a lot of the dark agendas that are coming out that all the light workers that need to be aware of, and anyone resonating with this energy and information at this time need to be informed of. So I was attempting to record this a couple of times before and it didn't go through. So I'm re-recording, and as I'm doing this, all of a sudden the energy, my crown chakra has been really activating, and a lot of this like higher frequencies coming down. So I'm feeling a little bit like drowsy right now, and like just want to fall asleep, and then everything's just slowing down, and I just feel like I need to speak slowly, or that's all I can do because of this energies coming in as I'm being on camera right now connecting. So just I'm just gonna share that, and whatever that they want me to share at this time for light workers, earth angels, star seeds, divine feminine rising, however you resonate with these terms, or you don't have to, but if you're drawn to this energy and message here and resonating without any resistance, and intuitively you're being pulled for this, then it may be for you. Also, always discern with your own heart, with your own intuition, which is very crucial, especially right now. So if you're not resonating, if you find some sort of resistance, meaning experiencing or trigger of lower frequencies, on an emotional style that is coming to you as a result of you hearing these information, meaning you suddenly are triggered to form opinions of right or wrong or judgment, then what I'm guided to share, especially with this, is that you want to take a back seat or stop watching the video altogether. It's going to lower your vibration or get you into that state of negativity where you still hold that energy, and then when you have that reaction, the lower entities can seep through, and it's not gonna really help you. So it's for your own protection. So allow you to feel the triggers, but then just be aware and then rebalance your energy, or choose what is best for you to keep your energy high vibrational. High vibrational is what I'm going to share right now, because once again, staying high vibrational energetically is really crucial for the collective energy that I'm going to guide you to share a lot of different things and information about on right now. So since 111, what I received was, on the day of 111, I suddenly received this clear information that we suddenly shifted into a higher level of collective consciousness on an energetic level, is what I'm going to share. And on the 3rd of November, that information that I received was confirmed, so I'm guided to share that today. So on the day of on the 111 day, I started to feel that, but I didn't know what that was about exactly. And on the 3rd, I was called to go outside and walk and just be exposed to the sun. And that day was really hot, around noontime. And I was connecting with the sun, And so usually I do not mind sweating, or because that's how I'm communicating with the sun at certain times, in divine timing. So suddenly I was feeling called to take a photo of the sun, which usually carries a certain message and information that my spirit team wants me to have and be aware of. And then I noticed and recognized the strong energy of Archangel Metatron on the 3rd, and that confirmed the energy that I was tapping into on the 1st of November with the 111 portal. So the energy of 111 portal has been really high rise in frequency once again, but then it was, I would say, very much refined rather than turbulent, in that it's like the analogy that comes is like when you are flying and you're about to land, it's more like a soft landing rather than turbulent landing. So in that sense, the way I'm describing as refined is, through that analogy to help you understand a little bit better about the energy. So that was what I was experiencing, more highly refined shift, and then on the 3rd day of November, with Archangel Metatron, what I received was Archangel Metatron is working with the Grand Central Sun, and he's pouring down all these higher collective consciousness codes through the Grand Central Sun. So first of all, what I'm going to share for Lightworkers or anyone resonating is that you want to connect with the sun, with the direct sunlight. You may want to go outside, walk when the sun is out. It could be a sunny day, or it doesn't have to be, but if it's sunny day, it's even better. But you don't want to directly look into the sun, which may harm your eyes, but you can just walk outside and be exposed to the sun rays or sunlight. And that's how you are going to receive these codes and activate certain cellular memories or activations, is what I'm going to share in order to embody these light codes, higher light codes right now. So you could be in a certain also high vibrational energy points around the world, or you were being called to travel to or visit those places. Then follow your own intuition, and there are certain reasons and purposes as to why you're drawn to visit those places at this particular time. Is something that is coming up right now for me to share and connect with those energies there, connect with the sun especially, and even not just today, on a regular day as part of your regular practice. It's always beneficial and always supports you when you connect with the sun. It cleanses your energy. You receive certain codes and information that contain higher consciousness that's going to activate your subconscious, is what I'm going to share. So utilize this energy right now, especially through 111 portal. And as I was meditating with all this information and energies that were coming, I was feeling called to compare the energy to that of the November in 2023. And in November of 2023, we had very intense winter where we were being called a lot heavily to purge, meaning terms like inner child wound healing or trauma healing, or facing your shadow, purging out your ego, purging out your shadows, especially in relation to your self-worth and identity, where it was to help us embrace who we really are, that we are enough, and to be our authentic self, or more of that right now, in order for us to prepare ourselves, meaning make room for this higher consciousness codes to come down and to anchor them on a cellular level. So that was taking place last November, and that energy last November perhaps had been very exhausting, last like winter time, very exhausting in terms of dealing with all these heavy emotions coming up, intensity of emotions, where you have to face your own feelings, emotions of insecurities, fears, right? With abandonment issues, rejection issues, all those things. Very inner child, very much all this like wound healing, karma healing, however you resonate with these terms, we've been working on. So it was like, may have been like you're in a like ring fighting, and then you're being hit left and right continuously, but not give up. So if you have been working faithfully and diligently without giving up, you are now at this point, is what I'm going to share, that you may feel a lot of refined sense of light-heartedness in this November energy right now, where you've been going through, you did a lot of the heavy lifting last year and all throughout earlier part of this year, and now you're at a point of simply I would say more of reflecting energy and overviewing of what you went through, what you have been working through, perhaps not just this year or last year, but more so of your entire lifetime thus far in this lifetime, as we are now getting prepared to release a lot of the karmic contracts, karmic soul contracts, in order for soul tribes or family to come together for to unite in physical reality, to further anchor down higher consciousness, also to create safe communities for people to build with higher highest intention for the good of all. So another topic that came up was building or having the intention of building something with self-interest or interest or service for others or the greater good of all. So that's the very key topic that also the Archangel Metatron, GFL, they want me to talk about right now for especially Lightworkers. And I mentioned this earlier this year that in 2024 we will start to see a lot of the leadership changes in corporate structure and all of that. And now is time, like it's being revealed of true nature or true characters of certain people who appear in a certain way that were able to deceive the collective. You know, usually a lot of the times the people who have dark agendas or part of that society, so the word society has been coming through a secret society, especially with the energy of Washington, D.C., the founding fathers, the foundation of how the U.S. was built, and a lot of different agendas that are there in the political scene right now. That's going to hugely affect the timeline of Gaia, is what I'm going to share. So with that, there are two candidates with the U.S. election, and both of them hold different timelines, but there are a lot of issues that we still need to navigate through in the dark forces or the dark energies that are still lingering on Earth right now, as we are here to clear them up as light workers, not like physically, literally, but symbolically and metaphorically is what I'm going to share. Okay, so I'm just going to save the video just in case I don't lose this, because I have a sense this is a very strong, important message. So I'm going to continue on. Okay, so with that energy, what is coming is a lot of the secret societies with different symbols, right? And the agenda of corporate America that has a lot of dark entities and forces behind, and entertainment industry, of course. And there are a lot of starseeds, lightworkers in these industries. And I was in corporate structure in very different, a lot of different industries, for a reason, for a purpose, in order for me to have that first-hand experience and really understand as an insider there. So that has been coming through with the Pluto still in Capricorn right now for the last time, and in a week or two we will move direct to Aquarius for a very long time. So this is a very pivotal time right now in the history of Earth that we are living through, is what I'm guided to share. So on a soul level, when you go back to your soul aspect, you will understand how crucial this moment was and what you were experiencing and the role that you were playing, even though you may not feel it as so right now, as we are in this game, so cold. Okay, so that is what I'm guided to share. So as we are going through this, because they hold a lot of dark agendas, and there are also a lot of karmic relationships still playing with certain people, or reincarnated characters, is what I'm going to share. Certain clones, certain real souls, a lot of different things are mixed within that energy. And that's why I mentioned, I believe around September or even earlier, that our discernment is going to be very key, because we have to really tune into our own intuition to discern whether someone's energy is trustworthy or not, as and not be deceived and manipulated by how they're packaging things or how they're marketing things. So for example, certain souls as celebrities right now that promote or they talk about self-love and healing or positivity, they may be part of the dark forces or that secret society with hidden dark agendas, and they could be played by them, or they're part of that group. So on the outside, they're camouflaging, masking, playing this, because that's what a lot of people are attracted towards. A lot of people are attracted towards light, and they want to seek light, they want to find light, instead of embracing the darkness to really unify the dark and the light aspect within themselves. So those souls are going to be very much easily manipulated. Even though you may be a starseed and you have a lot of these galactic experiences in your soul memory, if someone is not integrated in this lifetime, because this lifetime on Earth carries a lot of karmic energies as well, and when we are neglecting these work on integrating ourselves and staying in balance and alignment with our heart center, it's easy for them to seep through these karmic energies that you may be playing on, because we all have to have these energies to come down on Earth in the first place. They're taking advantage of that fact that we carry these heavy energies, and they're using that to seep through, infiltrate, and to manipulate. So that's what I'm guided to share, which is a very important message. So do not be fooled or deceived by how someone looks, how they're dressed, how they appear, what they talk about. you want to tune into the energies and listen to your own intuition, or take a sit back after you listen to someone and have that space of detachment to create a space between your ego and your higher self to really reflect. Take the time you need in your own divine timing and at your own pace to discern the information, discern the energy about certain people or person, because there are a lot of these agendas. For example, the energy of Starbucks is built on dark agendas where they're spreading caffeine to in a way to lower people's vibration and constantly enslave themselves, and it's going to create a lot of adrenal fatigue, messing up the hormones, messing up all these chemicals. Therefore, our third eye and all these other chakras, and all these corporate Americas, their signs and symbols and logos and colors, they carry certain energies that is what came to me the constantly last month, the entire month, was subliminal. So a lot of these corporate Americas with their colors, with their design of the logo, the symbols, and the message with their products, is subliminally, whatever that is, you understand, right? Within a sublimic level, they're subconsciously constantly putting people in a lower consciousness towards enslavement, and they need this dependency on caffeine, on certain chemicals that they are servicing to people, providing, which is not for the highest good of all, but it's for the self-interest or self-serving, which is the ego structure that we are to move out of right now and continuously, right? That it is affecting. And so that subliminal conditioning and programming is still going on. That is one of the things. And certain people or celebrities, musicians, artists, they present themselves as this or that, or this galactic or the star lineage or connection, or they're cool, they talk about metaverse, they talk about Mars, and they talk about this and that, but they could carry the mission of spreading Antichrist, is what I'm guided to share, which is because they're in a position of connecting with media, and they may appear very charming, they may create songs and lyrics with seemingly high vibrational or positive message or self-healing message, but the energy behind it is not. So it's not the words that people speak, but the intention behind that, the energy behind it, that's carrying these energies and affecting everyone's subconscious mind and vibration. And when sublimic, this programming is usually happening without us realizing. So that's how they're really playing this game. And right now we are being called to really discern these energies as light workers, especially to further allow Gaia to keep receiving these higher collective consciousness codes and to raise its vibration, that is from with the support of angelic realm and especially ascended masters. It's key right now, because all these heavy energies are, it's like, I believe I mentioned this earlier this year in one of or a few of my videos, that all these people who held power want to keep their status quo, but with this higher frequency that is rising, that is what I'm guided to share is inevitable in the destiny line of the earth at this time. It is going to take place. But a lot of these other agendas and groups and societies, both earth groups and both galactic, is what I'm guided to share. So there are a lot of galactic groups that have self-serving agendas as well as earth groups, and they're working together, and a lot of these energies hidden in within that symbolic energy of Washington, D.C. So what is taking place right now, as we are they're really trying to deceive and manipulate people's minds to steer certain timelines, to move certain timelines or remove certain timelines, to manipulate basically all these energies and stargates and portals right now. And this is their last resort, because the light is increasing and they're coming up with all these things to put people asleep continuously. Okay, so there is this colliding, massive collision is what I'm seeing of the energies right now, beginning with the 111 portal, where we are receiving this beautiful, refined, higher codes of consciousness that we are all being exposed to on earth. If you're a living being on earth right now, just being outside or living here, you're going to be affected. And because they are aware of this, there are their tactics and their games, they're like gaming up on their tactics is what I'm guided to share. So right now, you want to be very aware of the commercials that you watch, the music that you listen to, the celebrity news that you are connected to, that you get curious with, or certain ideas that come to you suddenly, and you want to verify and discern whether this is from the highest light or this is the manipulation. Okay, so I'm just going to stop here to make sure it's saved once again. So I'm going to continue. Okay, so that is what I'm going to share. And one of the things is that once you receive certain information, if you're a psychic or channeler, do not go too much into the rabbit hole of things, because once you get in there, the lower entities may find ways to seep through. So you want to maintain your inner balance and continue to detach and have that time of meditation, meaning mediate, meaning balance and align your energy to the center, so that you create constant space between your ego to observe the ego, because in this lifetime we are all experiencing ego. That's part of the journey and part of the experience, so that you don't get played basically, or you don't get manipulated, so that you don't lower your vibration or without you realizing. And one of the things that happened to me when I was in Kota Kinabalu, whenever the energy is rising and you are releasing certain key ancestral trauma or these lower vibration in terms of inner child healing or generational. So basically all these terms that we use, whenever you heal yourself, basically we came here, especially if you're a light worker, you may be born to a very dysfunctional family, right? Where there are a lot of basically all your family members are constantly disempowering you ever since you were a child. So you had a lot of light, you had a lot of gifts, you had a lot of wisdom already within you, even psychic powers that you could see through. and that you spoke about it. You stood up for yourself, and constantly people around you, it could be teachers, neighbors, your parents, siblings, however, your relatives, they're constantly gaslighting you, making you doubt. Basically the process of disempowerment. So the stronger the soul is, they volunteer to play this role, to be in that very dysfunctional environment in order for, as a light worker, you to clear this energy out by you not remembering, you forgetting everything, and you have to realize that you are the light and love that is unconditional, basically, to transmute and alchemize and transform all these energies. That's clearing up all these timelines of generations and histories and blah blah blah. So it goes way back. It's not, you may feel these insecurities coming from this lifetime of certain conditions that you received, but it is all going back or tied to much more and deeper, and you're clearing a lot of this energy up. And as you clear, it's affecting everyone around you as well, especially immediate family members as well. But that doesn't mean you are to save these people once again. Also, they what I'm going to share is that when they show who they truly are and the energies vibration that they hold, remember that, because a lot of the light workers and star seeds, earth angels, have a lot of empathy, a lot of love, a lot of understanding. And so because of that, we may lower our standards of discernment and our boundaries. But right now, I'm guided to share that to keep your boundaries very strong and discerning, continue to discern, because this is just at a bigger picture, this is just a play. So all these family members that you chose, all this, we had to develop bondage, we had to develop attachments. So that may be very tough to stay strong with certain boundaries and discernment, but that's the GFL wants me to share it and activate. As I'm sharing this message, you're going to it's going to help you activate to remember your mission, remember your soul purpose, and you're here to merge with your soul family. And a lot of these things, or words like blood is thicker than water, was in relation to the age of darkness experimentation, where we needed to be with our karmics to play out certain karmas. And the energy was very dense on earth, and we came here to particularly experience and play that. But right now, everything needs to shift into the light. So we are to merge and unite with the so-called soul family, the soul tribe, where you are going to be safe to feel seen and heard, and safe to be who you are, rather than constantly having to put your guard up and to make sure whether you are safe or not. That's taking up a lot of the energy on the light worker. So we don't want to, the spirit team and Source and Gaia and Galactic Federation of Light, they're telling me to really honor your energy right now and make sure to prioritize where it's being used and how it's being allocated, especially to keep or stay high vibrational. So to not go into overly empathetic, or just use your wisdom for discernment, to stay balanced between your heart and mind, and so that you're not overly in one area over other, where you may be out of balance and out of alignment and can get into some sort of, the analogy or the symbolic term is the rabbit hole of something, of the obsession or compulsion for digging something that makes you be very vulnerable to other entity manipulation. Okay, so I'm just going to sip on my water. So, okay, as I'm sipping on the water, I had my smoothie ready and I had my coconut water ready. And for some reason, I wanted to bring this while I was recording and just sharing them if it comes through. And one of the things they also want me to share is that we need to maintain our cellular health is on a physical level, because all these higher light codes and higher consciousness, these energies require a lot of the physical grounding, because we are still living in this physical body, and that our cells have to receive these codes and anchor them down in order to further activate. And so naturally, diet change and shift is going to happen on the collective level. Already we are experiencing a lot of the vegan culture, so-called widespreading, which is also has a lot of manipulation and dark forces behind that needs discernment, because not all vegan products are chemical free and organic. So it's not to support our vibration. So this like trends, all this trending stuff, you want to be very discerning of. And we are not to overly worship either of all this like so-called nature free chemical, like you're living in nature, you're sourcing everything, all this lifestyle that certain souls are choosing to have in this lifetime to help other people. But we are to also move through our unique pace, is what I'm going to share. So we are not to worship or negate or hate one over the other extremely. We are constantly being called to stay in balance and neutral. Allow all things to take place. Allow all, honor all, because everyone is experiencing their own unique soul journey and they're choosing what is best for them in their own highest timeline. So choosing that may be their highest timeline, but it may not be your highest timeline. So you are not resonating with that or aligning with that, right? That's how we want to discern, rather than a place from judgment where you are negating one thing and extremely going into a logical mind of agreeing with something or proposing or presenting something as better, because we are to move out of that better worse consciousness right now, which is very delicate and very subtle, and we could play that out very easily, is what I'm going to share. So that's the essence of the Christ consciousness. So on the day of moving here a few days ago on the plane, I received a lot of downloads in a meditative state while I was inside the plane, and that's usually sometimes how it takes place. And I started to see the symbol of the cross, the Christ consciousness, and the cross going around, constantly seeing it through my third eye. And with that, I knew it was the 30th of October, that we were moving into the higher consciousness codes, and it's all to remember our sovereign power and God within consciousness, that is the Christ consciousness. Okay, so I'm just going to save this now. So I stopped the camera and then the phone just got shut off, so I had to like push the button, and it was 3:33. So 333 may be very significant, and that energy of 333 is coming on very strong with the Christ consciousness energy right now, or the 33 to open up the 33 petals in our heart chakra right now. So in order for us to further open this 33 petals in our heart chakra that's connected to the Christ consciousness, it is very important to be aware of our own judgments whenever it comes up, whenever it rises. So you're not to run away from it by distracting, meaning you're not reflecting on that. So right now the energy of 111, especially right now, is more of, this is also if you have been diligently and faithfully been healing yourself, working on integrating and facing your own inner demons or the darkest fears and all those uncomfortable emotions that were coming up that you didn't want to feel, that you didn't want to face, because it really scared you. Because whenever these things pop up that trigger you, it brings up a lot of fear, subconscious fear. So on a subconscious level, you're afraid that you might be that, or you're afraid that something bad is going to happen to you, which is part of the programming or the byproduct of the conditional programming of duality consciousness experience or experimentation. So we've been conditioned with a lot of different meanings about certain things, meanings or interpretations of bad, meanings and interpretations of good, what is good, what is bad, and all these ideas were creating a lot of fear of being punished. And with that, what I'm also guided to share is about the religious codes that I also mentioned, that in August, or an 888 portal, I was guided to go to Siem Reap and connect with the energies there to clear a lot of the religious codes. Was in relation to this preparation for now, that basically all these religious codes, the conditional programming, the subliminal programming with various symbols and contexts and teachings, and even though you may not be Christian or you may not have been brought up religiously, it's all over the society. So it's in a way what they're sharing me, or the usage of word is, it's hard to escape once we are in this matrix or this game. But as part of us now creating that distance between the ego, we are able to see better, we are able to recognize everything better from a higher perspective, higher picture, the grander picture of everything, why you came here in the first place, and why you had to go through that abandonment issues, for example, why you were in this relationship, for example, why you chose these family dynamics, especially why you had to go through that experience in high school, in middle school, whatever that is, or why you chose to work in that company, all these things. You will have a bigger picture understanding and the purpose behind it, and that's part of the soul merging or the monadic merge that is taking place right now. So as we do this, we also want to understand about the religious codes, and religious codes were basically making us fear death. So the idea of death was terrifying, because of the idea of heaven and hell, good and bad. Therefore, we constantly held guilt, constantly held hidden shame, constantly held a lot of fear and insecurities. And so we needed something to hold on to that was the attachment that kept us in lower vibration to all the things that didn't serve us. But it's like this, it's really hard to let go of certain people or relationship or family members that are karmic or that they don't serve our highest good. Once you play out certain roles, you played out certain roles and you are to move on. The challenge is that you need to let go of these connections and ties and attachments to certain people, places, and things. But we continue to hold on, live in the past, meaning like go to that rabbit hole once again, dig into the past and live in the past basically. And so that's the process of holding on at large. And it creates a lot of anxiety and stress because basically it's the karmic energy, so-called in human language term right now. It's about the lessons. That was to help us evolve. But when we constantly focus on, in a way, lessons, what do I need to learn? What is there? What is there? Constantly we're looking back. And so it's hard for us to evolve through the lessons. And we are moving into the higher consciousness or ascension energies where we are to no longer live in constant anxiety and stress, but live in the energy of joy, excitement, and inspiration, which is the other end of that energy, other end of that spectrum. We're moving into from the age of darkness to age of light, which is not an easy transition, but we are doing this faithfully because we are being supported and guided every step of the way. So you want to continue to remember this and continue to remind yourself and continue to have faith in the every step. Okay, this month I feel this is something that I'm sensing and need to work on, meditate, reflect, come to a realization and recognition. And once you do that, you're releasing that energy, simply. Okay, so because of the religious codes, that idea of death, meaning it's a symbolic death, but it's simply the letting go of your old identity patterns. Because basically all of these conditions made us feel that we are not enough. And when we are not enough, we were not being loved. So this idea of that you are always being loved is hard to accept and hard to feel and embrace at this time as we go through that healing journey or the growth journey. So that's the idea, that because of that, we learn to please our parents, we learn to sacrifice our own needs over others in order to feel loved. Basically, receive that love, meaning validation or approval, which is not love. So it comes with conditions. And so it is all self-serving at large. So, and again, it's tied to that theme of whether it's self-serving or serving the highest good of all is the big theme right now with this Pluto energy still in Capricorn in this Scorpio season of very transformative energy. Also at the same time, it's helping us to really tap into our darkest, the most hidden areas. So that's where all these energies are coming up, the dark forces. In a way, we call it the veils are thin. That's the energy right now, especially in November, as I'm tapping into and as I'm connecting with my spirit team. They want me to share that information. So utilize this energy instead of hating this, or instead of disliking it. When it's thin, you get to see a lot of all the hidden stuff and recognize and have that information of what is really at play. So the scorpionic energy is about setting yourself to your truth. And in order to be that truth, from Scorpio of defensive energy of if someone is about to attack, you shoot out your poison to defend and protect yourself. But once you rise from the ashes like a phoenix, you become the dove, the white dove. That's the energy of November that I'm guided to share right now with since the 111 portal. So look into those areas where you're afraid to die, where you are afraid of holding on to certain images or the characters that certain people used to play. They are no longer the same person anymore. When you hold on to that memory, you hold on to that feeling where it's no longer in the now, it's all in the past. You've had that experience, so you have to let them go, okay? Let them go to allow new once again, is what I'm guided to share. So that whatever that is rising, you may be triggered here and there, allow yourself to reflect. So this is the energy of serenity. I feel stillness, more sense of silence, and then detachment and reflection is the energy that we are really being called to utilize right now in November, which we went through a lot of the hiccups and difficulties, and we did the heavy lifting. Now we are able to sit back and see through, look through, and discern. With that, you're going to see a lot of these dark forces trying very hard, playing very hard to get to not let go. For them, they don't want to let go of their power over, control over, right? So that's the whole ideas of the collective energies right now. And with the US election, whatever the result is, you don't want to get into any conspiracy theories or overly, again, the rabbit hole is coming up for me to mention by my spirit team. Do not dig in unnecessarily with certain information, agendas, because the ego wants to know. Stay overly curious, analyze everything. You want to find the fine balance between what you need to know and that's all you need to know. Also with intuition, and especially around these energies, protection, which I mentioned in the latest video. You don't want to protect yourself because you're afraid that might happen, because then you're giving attention to that thought and idea, that the more you hold that intention behind why you're protecting your energy, why you're saging, why you're doing all these rituals, if the intention is more tilted towards that, rather than having the balance of sensing the energies and using that senses to balance out, you may be creating that experience because you're constantly giving a lot of attention and energy towards that. Because what you give attention to, you create. It becomes your reality. So that's another thing that I'm guided to share and mention in terms of energy protection right now. And it's because a lot of these energies are trying to get to high vibrational beings, or anyone who's trying to or about to awaken themselves. It doesn't matter whatever unique stage that you are. They're coming to a realization of certain things of light. Then they are to the word targeting, right? Target them so that they don't shine, basically. They dim their light or continue to dim their light or continue to play small, which is opposite of coming into your power within. You constantly are afraid because on a subconscious level, the basis or the assumption is that you are powerless, but you are powerful. They don't want you to recognize that, okay? And others may see it, but you may not see your own power. You see what I mean? They want you to dim your light. So whenever these recognitions or the moments of epiphanies or awakening happens, there may be distractions that you may be experiencing, but what I'm guided to share by the Spirit Team and Galactic Federation of Light is that do not fear these energies. And once you go into fear, get into balance by remembering this fact. Do not fear. You have the power and you are powerful. You have the power to transmute, transform anything. If you say no, it's no. Okay? Once again, remind you of that. And they also want me to share about this little experience that I had. So back when I was in Kota Kinabalu, but all throughout, ever since 2018, every time something major or something that I'm moving on happens, there's always these energies trying to distract or hold me back. And at first I wasn't aware, I didn't understand, or weren't used to this in a very awareness level. But then over time, I saw the patterns, I saw what they were playing, so I was able to recognize. And so just like that, whenever these things happen, it's like suddenly there a lot of these, if they can't get to you directly through your thoughts because you're very much aligned, then they will try to move things around you or manipulate things around. For example, the very simple or the easiest things as you awaken that can happen is like you're walking down the street, all of a sudden someone yells or someone is fighting loudly that has a lot of intimidating energy, or the car is just about to hit you all of a sudden or honking at you. Something of this nature is to stir you out of the alignment so that that intimidating factor of you, it's like it's making you die or about to hit you to death, right? That fear of death is really shaken up, and it's going to try to intimidate you to get into that energy of fear that's going to block the heart chakra. So that's one of the very common tactics. And once you're aware of this, you're like going to laugh at it basically, and then okay, there goes again, they're playing this. And once that happens, you know that you are leveling up and that you will use that as your own confirmation in a way. Okay, so I'm leveling up, so I just need to do a little protection or energy clearing or something like that of the nature. You can utilize that reverse to your advantage in that sense. Another thing is that I experienced that they want me to share is back when I was in last year in winter time in Korea. When I was in Korea, I was called to go to this department store, and all of a sudden when I went there, the entire light went off of that department store, and that department store is very well known. And in my entire life, in all the places that I've been to, I never experienced all the lights going off in a large department store in the central part of the city. So that's what happened. And it was to really trigger me to fear. And I immediately sensed the energy and I recognized it. So I just laughed at it. But they were doing this a couple of times. And I asked one of the clerks there, like, have you ever experienced this? And she's like, never before. So this is something that could happen. Also, another thing that I experienced while I was in Kota Kinabalu was I was going into this restaurant slash cafe where I usually went because they had fresh coconut that was, I felt, high quality. So I usually went there to get that coconut water, fresh coconut water. And soon after I sat down at a table, because all the other tables were full that day, there was, I didn't notice who was sitting next to me, and all of a sudden this little girl of about 5-year-old started to cry and play temper tantrum on her mother. And I thought it was just a temper tantrum that any child would play. And then it started to get worse and she started to scream. And she was like is in outrage or really this frenzy or craziness in a sense. And the mother was trying to control her by making her not do it, shut off, and then distract her with toys. But the more she was trying to control her with a lot of different things, the more she was becoming outrageous. And the mother was trying to get her off this, the child, what is it called, trolley, the cart. And she resisted, like really physically strong, and the mother was like becoming very self-conscious and aware of how other would perceive her. So she looked at me and then I just laughed and said it's okay. But then it was getting worse and worse. And so that's how these energies want to get your attention away from what you were doing. And then pull you out of that alignment. And I immediately sensed it, but then the energy was getting louder as I was pulling my energy back to my center. And so the girl became more outrageous, and what ended up happening was she started to pee on floor, and she was like, you know, in this position and peeing, and she was shaking, crying, screaming and peeing, and the mother didn't know what to do, and she was embarrassed, and she was very much conscious of other people judging her once again, the energy that I felt. And so she was putting more force onto her to control her, to get her out of the restaurant. And she was resisting, and she was like really resisting physically. She couldn't handle her, and because they were right next to my table, that little girl started to come to my table, crawling, but she was peeing and she was filled, you know, and her clothes were wet and everything, and so she was crying and crying. She started to come towards my seat and like behind the table, crawling. And the mother was trying to pull her out because she didn't want to bother me. But then the more she did it, she was very, very strong. And then she just came right next to me. So at that time, I was stroking her, telling her it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. But then she felt drawn to this energy, but at the same time she was resisting hard. And soon after, I stopped because it was not my job to mend her, or because they had a karmic relationship, of course, with the mother and the child. When usually that happens is a karmic tie. And so I'm not to interfere any further. But you know, as a light worker, starseed, or whatever, however, like, you have a lot of compassion and empathy, and it's really pulling you to, like, because you see that the mother is not, the reason why the child was resisting harder and harder was because she was using force rather than love. And she knew exactly what she was doing, and I saw that in the child, energy on a brief second, that she exactly knew what she was doing. And so, like, she ended up dragging her to out of that that place, out of that table, and she threatened her that she's going to abandon her and then leave her, and then she immediately left. And there was this older boy who seemed like in his like teenage year, maybe, I don't know whether it was his brother or cousin, but he felt bad, so he was standing next to her, but the mother was like, if you don't come with me, I'm gonna leave you. And then she left. She went out of the restaurant, and then the child was crying and even more outrageous. And the mother came back after a little while, and she was trying to like drag her out from the floor to the from the restaurant. It was like a really huge scene in a way. And so immediately I checked my heart chakra, and it was already blocking a lot of the heart chakra. It was trying to block the heart chakra, so immediately I had to clear up the energy here. And that could be one of the things that could be happening, for example, to block the heart chakra of a lot of the light workers at this time, when they can't get to you directly, that they are going to play these outrageous things around your environment with people with certain vibrations, to get to your heart center, basically. So they're really targeting light workers' heart center with a lot of these things. So you want to be very conscious and aware, and not get highly entangled or too involved with these energies, because when you see it, this is all just a matrix. This is all like a staged play. So it's sometimes very interesting when I detach and observe. Every time there's an elevation taking place, this is what is happening. That's what is happening. It's just like a play. But once we are identifying with it, we get into the emotional aspect of it, and then we get into that conflicting energy, which is pulling us to one direction over the other, and we are conflicted, and in that moment we are lowering our vibration, and getting into sometimes negativity or the judgment. So that is what I'm going to share for anyone resonating or needs this reference for their own ways. And also to in order to not overly, for example, worship feng shui, which is the energy of the home or the place, which is also affecting person's energies. For example, whenever these things happen, you want to clear up your home space or wherever space you're in. You want things organized, put inside, and then making sure your dishes are all washed, and your trash is out. You're cleaning your house, you're letting the air in and out, the ventilation, so the old energies can move out, new energies can come in, and all of that, because once we overly worship, we start to develop dependency. That's powerlessness, because we do not believe that we have the power. Something or someone has power over. That's where the fear lies. So that's where this old matrix and all these dark agendas are playing, that they want us to keep believing that someone or something has power over, that we are not enough, basically, that if we don't seeking their validation. So for example, like fandom for celebrities, that they have to experience how it's like to live under constant expectations of others. At first it's nice when a soul is playing that role to heal their own karma of not being enough, and they're constantly seeking other people's validation. And for example, another thing is that over kindness and over giving of love is also a form of control tactics. So you want to also be very aware of this, that you always want to be authentic, and it's giving and receiving in balanced reciprocation. It's not overly, because you may do this to keep people at your bay, so you have control over certain people with your own kindness, and that's not from a balanced place. That is also very tricky, but it's something that I'm also guided to share. So they want to keep their fans, they want to keep certain customers, they want to keep certain people to their agendas, to their self-interest of seeking them certain things from other people, is all part of this energy that we are being called to clear up right now on an individual, both on an individual and both on a collective level. So these subtleties of ego plays and dynamics with the Scorpio energy of allowing us to really delve deeper to the darkest place, or the most hidden place, is really helping us to recognize these areas within oneself or within the collective energy or with someone else's energy. So it helps us to discern, clear, release once again, is with a message, so that we can anchor down this higher light consciousness and collective consciousness. And with that, I'm guided to share certain information and certain things that I incorporate. That the water that we intake is very important right now, as we are receiving these higher light codes into your system on a physical vessel, is because it is to do with the cellular upgrade or activation of the DNA, which requires a lot of water, because our body is made up of water, and water is a molecule, and it shifts and changes based on the resonance that you hold in your thoughts, emotions, and environmental factors coming into play, and all this. That's why all these dark agendas, the corporate Americas, all these energies of the, the experimentation of the darkness, they wanted us to eat bad, basically, to keep us in stress, in anxiety, and all this out of balance. So basically all of the environments and genetically modified fruits and vegetables and food sources are part of these agendas, is because they want to get to our water system, and all the water system that we are exposed to, unless we live 100% in pure nature, we are all exposed to toxins every single day, every moment, but it's just how the system is. So basically, you want to find fruits that have seeds. Make sure that it has seeds. Anything without seeds, it's lab made, it's engineered, it's modified, because anything from God has seeds. So I recently was shocked to discover that there was a papaya that I got in Kuala Lumpur, when I opened up, there were no seeds, and I've never seen papaya without seeds before. So this was the first time, and they're spreading this out. And now seedless watermelon is spreading very fast. And this is all coming out of the convenience conditional matrix, where we had to be the slave. So in order for us to be the slave, we had to be very efficient and look for convenience. So anything that was tied to that, we were seeking out. And so in belief that we are saving time, we are saving things so we can get a lot of things done, and that's better, and all this idea, right, of human doing versus human being. So seedless grapes are all over the place. I've never found grapes with seed, only through research when I was in Seoul, this farm, organic farm, that I was able to get, but it was very extremely hard. And everything is seedless, and also something of that nature. You want to make sure that it's that. And if you can't find organic, at least nature friendly, or anything out of big proportional size of too big, is likely to be genetically modified. So you want to check. And if you are clear, sentient, or have a lot of psychic abilities, you can also ask your spirit team or guardian angel or archangels to connect you with the best source of foods and ingredients, and you can tap into the energies of certain foods. And also you want to bless your food once you bring them into your house. Before you cook, after you cook, you want to bless your food. You want to be grateful to transform the energies of all the things that the food or the ingredients contain throughout this different channels that they had to go through to come to the market, come to the grocery store, so all these energies can be cleared. But you don't want to do this because you're afraid. It's the key message, that you're afraid that it could get to you. But it's just that you are finely tuned to the energies of what's high vibrational or not is the coming place. That you want to stay balanced when it comes to any of the protection or energy clearing. It's not to be practiced out of fear, but out of that inner alignment and balance is what's the key message also. So that you don't allow the channels of for these lower entities to seep through, basically. So what else? So to bless your food, and also to reflect and discern and understand, create a space between your ego and your higher self to really recognize areas of your own judgment, areas of your own hatred, areas of your own insecurities, or all these lower energies or the fears that may be arising through triggers or certain things that are happening. And that to recognize your subconscious belief relating to that, where it made you feel not enough, basically, that created this belief system. So once you recognize, you're alchemizing, transmuting them, so you're freeing yourself of these energies. Okay, and so the water is very important. The consumption of water, because basically all our bodies, the blood is water, all these hormones are water, all this like secretion, we are secreting water all the time. The brain is surrounding the water, and all this like granular nodes and all those limbs and everything is just basically surrounded with water. So the importance of water has been coming through in terms of diet shift or elevation, in accordance with receiving these higher light codes. But at the same time, they also want you to honor your own journey, honor your own season, honor your own pace, and not overly worship one thing over other. Collect information, both sides and different perspectives without judgment, and then sit with it, detach, meditate, tune in so you can discern what is for you in the particular moment, right? Because everybody energetic level, on a physical level, and the symptoms, and also what you chose to carry on a soul level is different. So the makeup is different and is very unique. So for example, on a soul level, I chose to experience a lot of physical difficulties, symptoms in this lifetime for a purpose. So you may practice certain healthy diets, but you may still have certain sensitivities, or if you go off those diets, you may experience things energetically. So this is all unique to everyone. So once again, I'm guided to remind you and mention these things. So for example, I'm drinking these smoothies. So the water is the water from the nature source, which is basically the fruits, vegetables, seeds, nuts, all of them, right? So the watermelon seeds have high nutrition of magnesium, and the watermelon is made up of, I believe, 90% water from a natural source. So you are not just hydrating your body, but also you are providing a lot of the nutrients that is essential for the system to operate. So if this was like a system, you have to insert a lot of the right elements that's going to allow the system to function at an optimal level, right? So just like that, you want to see, when we look at our physical body as the system, because you are not your body, you are the consciousness, but you're just using this vessel right now, then you want to put in the right things to optimize or upgrade the system, basically, right? So for example, today I made this dragon fruit smoothie. So I put in chia seeds, I put in lion's mane powder, moringa powder, sea moss gel that I made. So I carry this like portable grinder, like small grinder, like with a handle. And so I make my nut milk. For example, I soak them overnight, at least 12 hours, or during the day. And make my own nut milk. And so I used sunflower and pumpkin seed nut milk here, and used also poured in some coconut water. What else? But I do not drink this right away because I had to go through many trials and errors to not really exhaust my digestive system, because I had a lot of gut issues due to a lot of the traumas and all this like heavy experiences that I chose to go through up to that initiation in 2018. So all my life, basically, I chose to experience all this different extreme negativity and all sorts of themes surrounding that. So I had to live through that to come to this point. And so I sacrificed a lot of my physical body. So I start with herbal tea, the worm tea, to make sure that my system is not putting in cold energy right away that was affecting my gut health. So something like that. And so this is the smoothie that I like to have after my initial fruit. So I had some watermelon with tea, and so this is also with banana. And so the past few days I enjoyed the papaya and the whole these ingredients, but I only had when I cut open the papaya that I bought, there were no seeds, so I had to throw them out. So whenever I find them without seeds, I do not eat, because that would have been the old, the me in the Matrix, where I do not want to waste food, or I bought this at certain amount, but then it's more about honoring myself. That is the priority. So whenever it's not that I take the information and I choose not to align with the energy that is not from nature. And this is coconut water. So basically I put some roselle flower, a couple of them here to have that energy there. And then I really enjoy the calamansi that's widely available here in Malaysia. You could put organic lime, and so I had a few of them here. I like that taste. And then I put some leftover chia seeds here, and I love this drink. It's very nice. So I'm experimenting as well as I go through these different changes, because I had a lot of try and errors. I experience it every month, and even like a few months ago I was experimenting with this food and that food, and I'm eventually I want to be able to enjoy the raw organic foods totally, but right now I'm also enjoying cooked foods as well. So I'm doing some cooked foods. So but I'm incorporating more of the fruit diets, more of this herbal support from nature, because it really removes certain toxins. So you want to experiment with these things, but you want to also go at your own pace and allow yourself to experience and really listen to your body. And also when I do certain intense physical activities, it's putting a toll on my body ever since 2018, because of all this like higher light codes and all this stuff. So instead of like heavy exercise, more of light stretching or light exercise support me better, and all of these things. So it's about really tuning into what you are needing in that moment to moment basis, rather than following what's best as routine, what's best for everyone. There are no such things as that, is what I'm going to share. So you want to study and have all this information and take on different perspective from different people, but at the end of the day you need to experiment with your own self and what works for you or what doesn't, but not overly preachy that this is it, this is the ultimate, or this is what it should be. There are no such things. So somehow I'm guided to share what I'm drinking today and what I have been eating and drinking, what I've been doing. So like at times I crave some coffee, the taste of coffee, but then every time I had it, afterwards I had to suffer with the frequency of caffeine. So eventually because of that experience. I sometimes do coffee. Like, I haven't done coffee in past 3 months, but I was really tempted to get this coconut milk coffee, and I used to love my latte. So okay, I'm just gonna allow myself a little fun. And then somehow that frequency wasn't really matching with my frequency anymore, so I had to like suffer a little bit physically. So that's how you may experience and go through the learning phase through different foods and certain frequencies certain foods hold. Something like that. So that's what I'm guided to share as the last message. So with all this like US election and agendas and news and information, keep your vibrational to yourself, meaning stay discerning, stay nutritionally balanced, and find organic natural sources if possible to nourish the physical vessel in order to basically integrate these higher light codes and higher consciousness codes. That is part of the keeping your vibrational high game. And keep drinking or having a lot of different sources of high nutritional water from nature, which is vegetables, juicing, and fruits with seeds, and hopefully clean sources that you investigate and research on your own. And also to understand feng shui of certain energies in your place, in your house, or place that you're staying, that you want to ensure that it's the energy flow is clean and there are no lower entities, for example, like trash is sitting there, or the food that is the plates not cleaned, that it could attract lower entities, for example. Or there's a lot of clutter in your house, then you want to declutter. You want to throw things out or donate, or however you resonate to do, and make sure that it is spacious, it is clean. So incorporate that, and also use protection, but not out of fear, but out of balance and alignment. What else? And also, okay, lastly, before I go, the energy of Liechtenstein. I didn't know that Liechtenstein was a nation, a little country, but specifically Liechtenstein came through at the beginning of October, and I didn't know what that was. And today, Spirit gave me the information that that's the point of soul star activation point. That's the energy point that's connecting, basically like the star. 8-pointed star is what has been coming up. So 8 different points, creating the star symbol, or the geography, or the map, or this drawing in different regions around the world. And Liechtenstein is the highest, maybe like up on the crown, a higher level, and boom, connecting all these different places around different energy points. That was connecting to the Merlin codes that I shared in my previous videos. And I'm going to share all the links, relevant links, in the description box down below for anyone feeling called to connect with it and explore further. Okay. So the Merlin codes that came, I believe around September, October time, that's enhancing a lot of our ability of telepathic communication, because the veils are thinning in a way, in a human language sense. that we are able to connect and listen to and connect to our higher level of consciousness and information. So for example, you had no idea about extraterrestrial beings, and all of a sudden you're getting curious about it, or you see something on TV that triggers or activates something within yourself to dig further. So that's why the rabbit hole is coming once again, because of these thinning of the veils are going to activate people to get into certain information that they weren't interested in or fascinated with or curious with before, and now they're going to be curious with. And with that, because they're doing this for the first time, they may not understand balance, so they may be tilted towards extreme, going into certain aspects or digging too hard, too deep, unnecessarily. So that's all coming, and it may be happening around you, with you, however you resonate. So I'm reminding you to stay in balance and do not go overboard in the knowing, because the knowing can be a trap at times. Okay, wanting to know. Everything comes to you in divine timing, and everything is around you, just that we are not recognizing them because we are out of alignment. That's how this universe plays. So there are a lot of different layers, dynamics, and very interesting matrices and things that are at play and how universe is working. And so that's all I'm going to mention at this point right now, this far. And so with that, what else? Oh, the energy of Liechtenstein. So the energy of Merlin codes. So I gave a full transmission on my Patreon. So they want me to share that if anyone wants to connect and are ready to receive that codes in equal energy exchange of reciprocation, you're going to be called to go into the Patreon for that energy transmission or the connection or other transmissions there. So with that also, we are not to create services and products and to subtly mislead people to hook you to your products or services and making them dependent on, but allowing them to choose, but provide for your highest intentions of you having the desire and intention to serve for the highest good is very crucial right now in creating all the services and products or rebuilding things for the new golden age. So anyone, especially in the spiritual community, you want to take responsibility for what you are creating at this time that is going to also align you with your own highest timeline. And if you want to ascend to the highest timeline of Gaia, you're being called to step up your game, to take responsibility, review intentions of all your creations and purpose behind your creations, and allow people the freedom of choice of their own sovereign power rather than making them hooked to. So basically profiting out of people is the old energy that we want to move out of. So that is the idea of power over the hierarchical energy, but we really need to have all the light workers energy balanced and high vibrational so that we move into the sovereign energy, decentralized energy, with the Pluto going into Aquarius full on with that energy of light that is about to activate. And also the World War III timeline, the apocalypse, the apocalyptic event, the Black Swan event that I mentioned in the latest video. We do not want to, as light workers, perceive that as bad or good. because that's going to lower our vibration as well. So we want to witness and allow these timelines and different informations without forming extreme, taking one side over the other, but just focusing high vibration energy within our field, so that it helps naturally that we move into the highest timeline together with Gaia, if that's what your soul chose to be aligned with at this time. And also, okay, before I go, they also want me to mention about the technological advancements in AI that's going to accelerate with the age of Aquarius. That is the Pluto in Aquarius energy coming in soon. With a lot of these figures, so-called starseeds or light workers on TV as like world leaders right now, they may come in with certain soul contracts and blueprints, but if they're not integrated right now, for example, a soul may came in with very high blueprint for the golden age with technological advancements, but in this lifetime, if their ego is not aligned, integrated, they may constantly create lower timelines for that technological advancements in the future, so that we may experience a lot of chaos of AI wars and clone wars, and all those timelines can be created. For example, like electronic cars, and the person may develop this and the rockets and all of that, but if they're holding a lot of trauma, if they're playing a lot of karma continuously, and the ego is not aligned, and there is the energy of, or the intention, that sublimic, very subtle subconscious energy that they not be aware that they're creating, that is aligned not of purity but of self-interest or self-serving of the ego, then it's going to create that timeline. So even though the soul may come in with a certain blueprint that is for the highest good, they may change course in the process, is what I'm going to share. So that's why our discernment is really key. What you see may not be what it is. So we have to see through, filter through, and see the truth. Whether something is pure or not is what I'm going to share by Source Gaia, Archangel Metatron, that's with me right now, Commander Ashtar. So align yourself, keep your energy pure, keep your intentions pure, and do not be afraid of your own demons, meaning your shadows. Whenever they come up, see them so that they feel heard and seen, and with them, with that love, they will be integrated, and you will no longer hold fear over them, is what I'm going to share, okay? So that World War III timeline, there may be that war on a world level that could be instigated, is what I'm going to share, with the US election or the result of that, or a lot of the dark agendas and forces will come to the surface. And the last thing, okay, they want me to mention about the spiritual community hyping over extraterrestrial contact or open contact, or that the ETs coming and revealing all these ideas of worshiping is another form of worship. And they're like, yay, we're finally. Don't go there, is what I'm going to share. we are to stay neutral. We are to stay in alignment with the highest vibrational constantly until many, many years, because we are in this transition period until at least 2032 and then onwards. This is very turbulent times, and your soul is very strong and brave to be here at this particular time playing this role. So also they are honoring you for carrying on your mission in full faith and trust despite all these hardships on earth energies right now, and that you're not to overly go over one or the other. Stay neutral, stay discerning, stay pure, stay high vibrational, stay clean energetically, mentally, emotionally, physically, spatially. Okay, that's the last message that is coming for me to share. Do not go overly into discussions of politics or these agendas too much unless certain informations are necessary for you to know at this time, because everything is divinely guided. Just trust it. And what they're saying is know your limit, draw boundaries, okay, within yourself as well, is what I'm going to share. Okay, so you don't overly attach to anything. So keep your heart in love and open, and allow your sympathy, empathy, compassion to vibrate. But at the same time, as I share this story of this little girl, there are a lot of energies that may want to play with your empathy, play with your compassion, play with your sympathy. So stay discerning. And then in human language term, stay on your business, mind your own business. Okay, that is one of the ways that we can keep our vibrational high at this time. Okay. So that is all for right now. And what they want me to mention is throughout all this channeling and communication with my higher self, and what I have been integrating, consolidating, and sharing this information with you guys, Archangel Metatron was with me. So instead of me giving me the transmission throughout this entire video, the energy or the codes from Archangel Metatron has been already transmitted, was just what I'm going to share. And if you're till the end of this video and receiving this information, Archangel Metatron is saying that you are meant to receive this, and this is not for everybody. So in a way it's funny, that's how it's coming through, because not everyone's going to stick through this message till the end or really listen to this segment. So yeah, it's just making me laugh because this is not something that I was aware of. So that's why my energy was like slowing down and all this like this energy. So now it's clearing up, and I'm really like clear with 2020 vision now with the energy. So I hope this message and this transmission from Archangel Metatron helps, and that I support you at this time. So with that, I'll end this video now, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.